Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to another tutorial. So in this one we are going to look at how we can do a line trace for our first person character. This is a very useful method to interact with your environment, and using this you can get a lot of information for your interactions. You can do the line trace for your guns, for shooting, for interacting with your environment, and it's also very easy to set up. So let's jump right in and see how we can use this system for our games. Alright, so here I am in a first person template, and here when I play the game, my first person character will be spawned, and I want to do the line trace based on this character here. So here in your first person folder, in the blueprints, open up your first person character, and here we have these nodes. We don't do anything with these, we just want to add our own logic for the line trace here. So here if I start from scratch, all you need to do is to just first set up your inputs. You can use enhanced inputs. Here in your content you have inputs. Here you can define an action, then use it in the default input mapping context, or you can use simple inputs here, doesn't matter. So here let's go to our actions, duplicate this real quick, name it for example attack, then add it to our IMC default. So here we have jump, move, look. Let's add attack and set the key on left mouse button. Now here if we search for IA underscore attack, we have access to our event. And now if I, for example, print something when I hit left click, you can see that it's working. Great. Now to do the line trace, the first thing we need is a line trace by channel function. So here let's drag off a wire, search for line trace, and here as you can see we have a lot of line trace functions here. The one that we want to work with is line trace by channel, so make sure you don't go with multi-line trace or these other stuff here. So let's add the line trace by channel, and now we need to give it some information. First we need to define the start position of the line, the end position, the visibility of the trace channel, and that's it. So here we want to do the line trace from our camera to the center of the screen. So here let's get a reference to our first person camera, get its location. So let's search for get world location. Here it is, and this is going to be the start of our line trace. Next we need to define the end position. So here we want to get the forward vector of our first person camera. We want to know which direction it's facing. So here drag off a wire, get forward vector, and now we want to control the length of our vector. So here I'm going to drag off a wire and multiply it by a value. Here you can define the values one by one, or you can right click and change it to integer, so we have an integer that will be multiplied by these. So for example, if I set it on 200, this is going to be the length of our line. So if you want to trace a long distance, you need to bump this up, or if you want to do it for a short distance, you can go with a short number like 200 centimeters. And now we need to add this to the location of the camera. So we are going to use this again, just drag off a wire, plus, and add these together, and this location is the end of the line trace. Here we have a trace channel which can be set on visibility or camera. if you set it on visibility, all the objects that collide with the visibility query channel will get this line trace. We are going to discuss this later, so just keep it on visibility. And the next thing we need to do is to set this on for duration, so we are able to see the line. These are the colors for the line, and this is the draw time. So it means that it will be drawn for 5 seconds and next it will be gone. Now let's test what we have so far. So here, as you can see, when I hit left click, you can see that the line is drawn. And when I hit something, you can see this rectangle here, which means that I'm hitting something. If I hit nothing, you can see that there is no rectangle at the end of the line. And now, for example, if I bump up the length, for example, to 2000, you can see that the line is much longer, like this. This is a 20-meter long line here. Great. Now let's talk about the trace channel. So here, for example, let's say that we have this object here, or this one. Here in the details panel, in the collision tab, if I set this to custom, you can see that I'm able to control the collision responses. Here, as you can see, we have visibility and camera, and it's blocking both of them. And our line trace is on visibility as well, so this will block the line. Here, as you can see, we have these red rectangles here, meaning that we are blocking it. But let's say that this is on ignoring the visibility channel. Now it will not stop the line, and here, as you can see, the line trace is not able to collide with this. So you need to manage your trace responses for the object that is being hit, and also the line trace function and its trace channel. So again, if I set this on camera and set this on blocking the camera trace, you can see that my line is being blocked. Let's put this back on block everything. Let's put this on visibility. And now let's talk about these outputs here. So when our line hits something, it will give us a lot of information about the object that is hit. So first of all, we can check if we hit something or not. So for example, if I do a print string and use my return value, you can see that when I hit something, it says true. When I hit nothing, it says false. So the first thing you can know about your line trace is that whether you're hitting something the level or not. But the interesting thing is here in our hit results. So here, if I drag off a wire and break the hit result, you can see we have a lot of variables here that give us information about what we hit. So here, let's cover the important ones real quick. First, we have distance, which can be useful in a lot of cases. So using this, you are able to measure the distance of the impact point and your camera position. Next, we have location, which will give us the location of the hit. So here, as you can see, when I hit something with my line trace, it will give us the location of the impact. Next, we have the normal. So we can know the normal vector of the surfaces that we hit. So here, as you can see, for the ground it says 0, 0, 1, which means that the surface is pointing upwards. For this is 0, 1, 0, which means that this surface is directing through these direction. And for these, you can see that the values change based on the normal vector of the impact points. So these are useful when you want to attach something to the surface when you hit them. For example, let's say that you want to plant a bomb when you do the line trace. Using the values of the normal, you are able to define the rotation of the object that you want to attach, and this way you can attach objects properly. Next, we have physical material, which is used for defining the hit sounds or the impact VFX for the objects. So here, for our object here, as you can see, there is no physical material override. So if I use this, you can see that it says default physical material. But for example, if I assign a physical material to this, for example ice, you can see that it's giving us the physical material, and then using this you can spawn the impact VFX based on the physical material, for example. And finally, we have hit actor. So this will simply give us the actor that is hit. So this one is SM cube 18, this one is floor, this is cylinder 5, this one is cylinder 4, and this is very useful as well. For example, when you hit the enemy, you can get the actor, cast to it, or do whatever you need. These are also useful in different situations, but these are the most important ones, and that's it. This is how you can do a line trace by channel. I hope you learned something new from this tutorial, and if you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.